Now let's go live across to Red Fort here in New Delhi for the press meet by Culture Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat following UNESCO Intergovernmental Committee for Safeguarding Intangible Cultural Heritage announcement on Diwali. We're getting you live visuals from Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where President Droupadi Murmu is attending the Human Rights Day observance. Beg your pardon, we're watching live from Red Fort in New Delhi right now, the press meet by the Culture Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. In fact, India will host the 20th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, the ICH, till the 13th of this month at Red Fort in New Delhi. And India has nominated Diwali, the festival of light, brotherhood, compassion and collective celebration as its submission for the UNESCO Intangible Heritage List this year. Now, the Union Minister for Culture and Tourism, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, said the proposal earlier reviewed by independent evaluation bodies will be discussed in the ongoing session, and the government is also very confident about a positive outcome. Also, the 6-day event aims at examining nominations submitted by the state parties.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear friends, today is a day of glowing pride for India and a moment of gentle radiance for the entire world. Deepavali, our beloved festival of lights, has been inscribed on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. For every Indian heart, this is a deeply emotional movement. Deepavali is not just celebrated, it is felt, lived, absorbed across generations. It is the soft, steady assurance that light will remain, that dharma will prevail, that hope will rise again. As our ancient prayer says, Tamso ma jyotirgamaya, lead us from the darkness to light. When UNESCO honors Deepavali today, it honors this eternal human longing for renewal, for peace, for the triumph of the good. Deepavali lives because millions of hands keep it alive. The potter shaping the humble diya, the artisans decorating homes, the farmers bringing their harvest, the sweet makers preparing festive joy, the priests invoking sacred blessings. They are the keepers of our cultural flame and scattered across the globe, from Singapore to South Africa and from the Gulf to Caribbean. Our diaspora has carried this light forward, showing the world India's spirit of openness, warmth and coexistence. But friends, this recognition is not merely an honor. It is a responsibility. We must ensure Deepavali remain its living heritage, not a memory tapped in time. Our children must know why we light a lamp, not just how we light it. They must know Deepavali is a festival of Ramarajya, that is a good governance. In a world filled with the uncertainty, Deepavali gently reminds us the lamp may be one, but its light belongs to all. It teaches us that a small flame offered with love can dissolve the deepest darkness. Today, as India stands honored, we stand humbled as well. Humbly by the faith of our people, by the strength of our traditions, and by the recognition bestowed by UNESCO. I offer my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished committee, to UNESCO, and every custodian of this timeless festival. And I invite the world this Deepavali to light one extra lamp, a lamp of gratitude, a lamp of peace, a lamp of shared humanity, and a lamp of good governance everywhere. Sarve bhavantu sukhine. May all be happy, may all be healthy. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai! Raja Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai!
Thank you. Thank you, India, and once again, congratulations.
Deepavali is one of the grandest and most popular festivals that unites communities, families, and individuals across the length and breadth of India and the diaspora. Also called Diwali, it is observed on the new moon in October or November as per the lunar Hindu calendar month of Kartik. Deepavali means row of lights, symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness and virtue over vice. It commemorates the return of Lord Ram from 14 years of exile, as depicted in the ancient Indian epic Ramayana. People on this occasion seek blessings for prosperity from the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, and the god of new beginnings, Ganesha, among others, to celebrate abundance in every sense. As a festival rooted in agrarian traditions, farming communities observe diverse rituals and practices. For some business communities, it's an auspicious time to inaugurate new financial accounts. Every year, Deepavali serves as a reminder of our interconnectedness and our responsibility to care for one another. Deepavali is widely cherished and has transcended borders to evolve into a global celebration. In each flickering diya and joyous celebration, we find a common thread binding us.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, well, more from the event. We have Siddharth Bharadwaj joining us on the phone line. Well, Siddharth, how significant a date today is it, how significant is Diwali's inscription in UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List in terms of India's global cultural influence, especially? And tell us about the Red Fort celebrations also.
Oh, definitely. A very good morning to you, Lipasi. And it's a matter of great joy and pride for the entire country, for the entire Bharat, as Diwali is now inscribed in UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. We've seen the Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat was saying that light belongs to all, and that the world should know that it's not just about lighting diya but to why we light diyas on this special festival which the entire Bharat celebrates every year. And Lipasi, the celebrations have started here at the iconic Red Fort, which is a UNESCO heritage site.
Right.
And this is a very, very significant event, and also a matter of immense joy because India is hosting the 20th session of this particular event. The celebrations, you know, the cultural heritage. As we all know about India, India has a great cultural heritage, a cultural famous in the entire world. And as I can see, Lipakshi, from my eyes, Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has come out of the plenary hall here at the Red Fort, and the celebrations have started. The cultural celebration is actually taking place here outside the plenary hall. This performance which is happening right now is showcasing India's rich cultural heritage and how diverse India's culture is. So it's a matter of great pride and joy, and it's of great significance that Diwali is now inscribed in UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Lipasi, back to you.
All right, Siddharth, of course, indeed a moment of immense joy today. Culture Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat called this a historic and a very emotional moment also. Tell us more, in a big day indeed for the recognition of India's broader cultural identity, if we talk about, and the government's efforts.
Lipasi, definitely when you talk about India's cultural identity, then definitely it's highlighted all over the globe. No, people from all over the world know about what India represents in terms of its cultural heritage. And here in this particular event, around 150 nations are participating, from different countries, and they are coming here. It seems like a beautiful bouquet of countries where every country is participating in this particular event. And when it was announced that Diwali is now inscribed in UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity, everyone was so happy, not just from the people of this country, but all the other nations who have come here in this historic event were really, really happy, and they were jumping in joy. And all the delegation representing India was also enjoying, and they were jumping in joy and raising the tricolor. And such is the cultural heritage of India. And this event, when you talk about this event, Lipaki, it's also a historic event in itself, as India is hosting the 20th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage. This event will go on from 8th to 13th of December. And what makes this event even more special, Lipakshi, is the venue of this event, which is, like you mentioned to our viewers, is the iconic Red Fort, included in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So that's what is making it special. And as we all know, that when you talk about India's cultural heritage, it is actually very, very significant, and it is very famous, when it comes to the global map. So today's announcement regarding Deepavali will strengthen certainly India's position on the global map. And like I was just saying, celebrations are going on outside the plenary hall here at the Red Fort, with Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat enjoying the cultural performance, which actually signifies that how deep India's cultural heritage is. And the diverse cultural heritage makes this country more special. And all this is coming at a time, Lipakshi, when the country is walking on the path of Viksit Bharat, which is developed India, and Atmanirbhar Bharat also, which is self-reliant India, and which aligns further with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, Lipakshi. That is the year when India will be celebrating the centenary of its independence, and in that particular year, it is expected that India will be able to manufacture everything under the sun today as well. The way India's economy is growing,
Right.
the GDP figures, that particularly shows that how India is progressing in every sector. You name the sector and India is, be it healthcare, be it defense, be it agriculture, and all other sectors, you name it, and India is there. Today, the world looks at India, Lipakshi, when it comes to collaborations. You've seen in the past the free trade agreements as well. And right now also, the agreements are currently underway, on the path to be finalized. So that particularly shows that how India is progressing as a nation, and which also shows that how Make in India initiative is actually working wonders for the country, wherein people these days are now opting for the country-made products, as it will strengthen the economy of the country. And India will be very soon becoming the third largest economy in the entire world, which goes on to show that how the country is progressing in terms of its GDP, and also in every sector, Lipakshi, like I said, you name the sector, and we're there, and also it also tells about India's position on the global map, Lipakshi. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes to every country, the kind of respect he gets, the kind of warm welcome he gets from the heads of state, it goes on to show that India has certainly arrived, and on the global map,
Right.
it is shining bright.
Of course, India is making indeed great strides in overall the world. Siddharth, just hold on with us for some time while we will just show our viewers what the Cultural Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat said at the momentous time.
Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear friends, today is a day of glowing pride for India and a moment of gentle radiance for the entire world. Deepavali, our beloved festival of lights, has been inscribed on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. For every Indian heart, this is a deeply emotional moment. Deepavali is not just celebrated, it is felt, lived, absorbed across generations. It is the soft, steady assurance that light will remain, that dharma will prevail, that hope will rise again. As our ancient prayer says, Tamso ma jyotirgamaya, lead us from the darkness to light. When UNESCO honors Deepavali today, it honors this eternal human longing for renewal, for peace, for the triumph of the good. Deepavali lives because millions of hands keep it alive. The potter shaping the humble diya, the artisans decorating homes, the farmers bringing their harvest, the sweet makers preparing festive joy, the priests invoking sacred blessings. They are the keepers of our cultural flame, and scattered across the globe, from Singapore to South Africa and from the Gulf to Caribbean, our diaspora has carried this light forward.
All right, and now let's go live across to Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where President Droupadi Murmu is attending the Human Rights Day observance being organized by the National Human Rights Commission.
National Human Rights Commission, Shri Justice V. Ramasubramaniam ji, members of National Human Rights Commission, Dr. Justice Vidyut Ranjan Sodangi ji, Mrs. Vijaya Bharati Sayani, Secretary General Shri Bharat Ralji, UN Residents Coordinator in India, Mrs. Arati Sayani ji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, Johar, good morning. I am happy to join you all for commemorating the Human Rights Day. It is an occasion to remind us that the universal human rights are unalienable. and they form the bedrock of a just, equitable, and compassionate society. 77 years ago, the world came together to articulate a simple yet revolutionary truth that every human being is born free and equal in dignity and rights. India played an important role in shaping a global framework of human rights. Our freedom fighters envisioned a world rooted in human dignity, equality, and justice. Hansaben Mehta, one of the 15 women members of our Constituent Assembly, was also a member of the group engaged in the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She suggested a foundational change to the draft. She ensured that the rights enshrined in that global charter were expressed not in terms of the rights of men, but in the inclusion and universal expression rights of all human beings. That such a historic shift was brought about by the expansive vision of an Indian woman is a matter of enduring pride for every Indian. Thus, India embraced the Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a co-creator of a universal moral covenant which resonated deeply with our civilizational ethos. Our ancient value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means that the world is one family, is reflected in the idea of universal human rights. It is only up that India's sustained commitment to the human rights principles has been recognized globally. It is evidenced by our unopposed election to the United Nations Human Rights Council for a 3-year term, commencing in 2026 for the 7th time. Today, we also renew our ancient ideal of inclusion, captured in the words Sarve Bhavantu Sukhino, which means may everyone be happy. We renew this inclusive spirit of well-being of all as a modern pledge, that no one shall be left behind, that dignity is not negotiable, and that justice must remain the birthright of every person in India. Our commitment is clear: to build a nation where every individual can live with freedom, respect, and equality, and where human rights are not only protected but celebrated. Human rights are contained in the vision of our Constitution. Highlighting our constitutional objectives, Babasaheb Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar has said, we must make our political democracy a social democracy as well. Human rights promote social democracy. Human rights encompass the right to live without fear, to learn without barriers, to work without exploitation, and to age with dignity. We have reminded the world that human rights cannot be divorced from development. Also, India has always added to the timeless truth: there is no peace without justice, there is no justice without peace. Ladies and gentlemen, since the year 2019, with a view to enabling a holistic view of human rights issues, chairpersons of the National Commissions for Minorities, Scheduled Tribes, Scheduled Caste, Women, Protection of Child Rights and Backward Classes, along with the Chief Commissioners for persons with disabilities, are deemed to be members in the NHRC for dealing with the core issues before the Commission. It is heartening to note that NHRC India, the state human rights commissions, along with judiciary and civil society, have functioned as alert sentinels of our constitutional conscience. देवियों और स्वजनों, ये बड़ी संतोष की बात है कि पिछले कुछ वर्षों के दौरान राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग ने अनुसूचित जाति तथा अनुसूचित जनजाति समुदायों के लोगों तथा महिलाओं और बच्चों से जुड़े अनेक विषयों का स्वयं संज्ञान लिया है। मुझे बताया गया है कि अब तक आयोग ने लगभग 3000 मामलों का स्वयं संज्ञान लिया है। कारागारों में बंद अंडर ट्रायल लोगों से जुड़े विषय पर मैंने अपने विचार व्यक्त की थी। इस दिशा में कुछ प्रयास भी किए गए हैं। मुझे ये जानकर प्रसन्नता हुई है कि मानव अधिकार आयोग द्वारा इस वर्ष आयोजित स्थापना दिवस समारोह के अवसर पर ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑफ प्रिजन इनमेट्स विषय पर व्यापक विचार विमर्श किया गया है। मैं आशा करती हूं कि इस विचार विमर्श के उपयोगी परिणाम निकलेंगे। महिलाओं का सशक्तिकरण और कल्याण मानव अधिकार के प्रमुख आधार स्तंभ है। बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ अभियान के बेटियों की शिक्षा को बढ़ावा मिला है, विशेषकर उन क्षेत्रों में जहां बेटियों की संख्या कम है। मुझे ये देखकर प्रसन्नता होती है कि सरकार की अनेक प्रभावी योजनाओं के माध्यम से महिलाओं की आर्थिक भागीदारी, सम्मान और आत्मनिर्भरता को बल मिला है। मुझे ये जानकर प्रसन्नता है कि आयोग द्वारा सार्वजनिक स्थानों और कर्मस्थलों में महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के विषय पर सम्मेलन का आयोजन किया गया है। ऐसे सम्मेलनों में निकले निष्कर्ष महिलाओं की सुरक्षा और सशक्तिकरण की दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण सिद्ध हो सकते हैं। इसके लिए मैं आयोग की पूरी टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई देती हूँ। शिक्षा नागरिकों के सशक्तिकरण तथा उनके मानव अधिकारों की कुंजी है। एकलव्य मॉडल रेसिडेंशियल स्कूल और पीएम श्री स्कूल जैसे संस्थान गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा को सबकी पहुंच में लाते हैं। इन संस्थाओं से वंचित वर्गों के विद्यार्थियों की शिक्षा को विशेष प्रोत्साहन मिला है। देवियों स्वजनों, भारत के लोग अंत्योदय में विश्वास करते हैं। अंत्योदय मीन्स जो मानवता के लास्ट पायदान पे खड़े हैं, उनको हर उसी चीज पहुंचाना चाहिए जो एक नागरिक के लिए जरूरत है। गणतांत्रिक अधिकार को साबित करने के लिए हम उन तक पहुंच जाते हैं। क्या मानव अधिकार को देने के लिए उन तक अभी तक हम पहुंचे हैं? यदि नहीं, आज से सोचना चाहिए। हम विश्वास करते हैं फास्ट विलेज मीन्स दो सीमा, भारत की सीमा के लास्ट में जो गांव है, वो गांव हम पहुंचे हैं। नहीं पहुंचे हैं तो आज से पहुंचना शुरू करेंगे। ये केवल कमीशन का काम नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट का काम नहीं है, ये हम सब का भी काम है। समाज का प्रत्येक नागरिकों का कर्तव्य है कि उन लोगों को भी मानव अधिकार का हर सुविधा उनको मिलना चाहिए। हम लोगों का जो सपना है 2047 भारत को विकसित भारत बनाना चाहिए। इंक्लूसिव का मतलब नहीं है कि कुछ लोगों को साथ में लेना। इंक्लूसिव का मतलब है 140 करोड़ लोगों को पास पहुंचना चाहिए वो सुविधा, जो सुविधा एक ऐसे लोगों को मिलता है जहां एक बड़ा आसन में बैठा है। मैं समझती हूँ जो बड़े हैं बहुत अच्छी चीज है, बड़ा बनना चाहिए। बड़े होने से ना दूसरों का सेवा करेगा, लेकिन बड़े लोगों का कभी कभी पीछे देखना चाहिए। एक लास्ट पायदान पे खड़े होना लोग कितने दूर में खड़े हैं और 2047 तक वो मेरे पास आ पाएगा तो नहीं पाएगा, तो आज हम लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। इसलिए मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ। केवल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन का बहुत अच्छी चीज कि केवल एक दिन नहीं, मुझे लगता है 365 दिन पालन करना चाहिए, सेलिब्रेशन हो ना हो, लेकिन आत्मिक सेलिब्रेशन होना चाहिए, पर्सनल सेलिब्रेशन होना चाहिए। Ladies and gentlemen, I feel especially happy that today the NHRC India is holding a conference on ensuring everyday essentials. This aligns well with this year's UN theme. It also reflects India's focus on ensuring that essential services like health, education, housing, and other basic amenities are accessible to every citizen. Access to justice, especially for the poor, is given special thrust. I understand that stakeholders from diverse fields are participating in the conference to deliberate on critical issues concerning everyday essentials. I am pleased with the launch of the NRC's new mobile app. I have been briefed that the app will make the complaint filing mechanism of NHRC more accessible to all. कभी कभी ऐसे जगह है जहां आप नहीं पहुंचता, उनको पहुंचाने के लिए क्या मैकेनिज्म हम बनाए हैं, उसी दिशा में भी सोचना चाहिए. People will also be able to track the status of their complaints. It will also enable young students to reach NHRC for internship and other opportunities of learning. The NHRC gives expressions to certain ideals of the state and the society. The government of India has been translating such expressions into action on a scale never seen before. Over the last decade, we have witnessed our nation moving ahead with a different approach from entitlement to empowerment and from charity to rights. The government has been working to ensure that everyday essential services like clean water, electricity, cooking gas, health care, banking services, education, and improved sanitation become available to all. This uplifts every household and secures dignity. Over 40 million homes built for the poor have turned the right to shelter from dream into reality. The world's largest food security program reached approximately 800 million people. No Indian should sleep hungry in the mission of the program. Recently, the government has notified the implementation of a major reform through the 4 labor codes related to wages, industrial relations, social security, and occupational safety, healthy and working conditions. This transformative change lays the foundation for a future-ready workforce and more resilient industries. ये बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है. ये केवल मैं और एक बार दोहराना चाहती हूँ, केवल कमीशन या केवल गवर्नमेंट नहीं, गवर्नमेंट मशीनरीज है, ऐसे ऐसे लोग हैं, आंखें तो है देख नहीं पाते, कान है सुन नहीं पाते, मुंह है बोल नहीं पाते. उनका आंखें बनना, उनका श्रवण शक्ति बनना, उनका वॉइस बनना हम लोगों का कर्तव्य होता है. क्योंकि राइट्स है, गवर्नमेंट दे रहे हैं, लेकिन पहुंच क्यों दे रहे? क्योंकि वो मूक बधिर है. हम लोगों को बोलना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट के पास ये चीज को पहुंचाना चाहिए. Together, these efforts reflect our national commitment that progress must be inclusive, reaching every corner of our country and every segment of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, today I call upon every citizen to recognize that human rights are not the sole responsibility of governments. The NHRC, civil society organization, and such other institutions. Protecting the rights and dignity of our fellow citizens is a shared duty. This duty rests with all of us as members of a compassionate and responsible society. Let us resolve to move ahead towards building Viksit Bharat, which will showcase the ideal blend of holistic development, social justice. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Well, we were watching live from Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where President Droupadi Murmu addressed the Human Rights Day celebrations in New Delhi. She said that every human being is born free and has equal human rights. Well, the President also spoke about India's mantra, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the world as one family, being an example of this. She also spoke about various aspects of women empowerment and how the various schemes of the government have given an impetus to it. The President also mentioned that PM Shri scheme launched by the government has given a lot of improvement to the quality of education as well. She said that it's heartening to see how UNHRC has been working relentlessly for the backward sections. And she also said that human rights should be celebrated every day and not only one day. And she also mentioned that human rights is a responsibility of every individual and human being and not only the government. And together, the progress should be inclusive, building Viksit Bharat. Well, the NHRC is also organizing a national conference on the theme ensuring everyday essentials, public services and dignity for all, aligned with this year's UN Human Rights Day theme, Everyday Essentials. Well, that was the gist of what the President said at the event.